down to the wire as always. Oh my good gracious. Of course my glasses are dirty. Why wouldn't my glasses be dirty? They're always dirty. All right. Gotta do the ritual, cleaning the hands off before I glove up. I was handling a lot of paint today, but I think most of the paint on my hands is dry at this point. I think all of it's dry at this point. I hope it is. And I'm gonna glove up anyway, because I am super paranoid about paint transfer, and I have got a lot of stuff today I do not want to get paint on. Hey, what's up, peoples? Welcome to Friday Staining. I've got so much shit to get through today. First, you guys are just in time for the prostate exams. Just kidding. I got a bunch of shit to tongue oil first. Then I've got a set of Ninja Hambo. We're gonna stain these black. And then, God help me, I am going to live stream putting barbed wire on a custom battle bat. We're gonna see if I ruin it on live stream. I've never done this on a live stream before, and it's already a very anxiety causing task putting the barbed wire on the bat. Really hoping it goes smoothly today. We're gonna find out, because on a barbed wire bat, man, putting the barbed wire is the last thing you do, and if you're gonna fuck it up, that's when you're gonna do it, when you're putting the barbed wire on, most likely. By the way, I brought a can opener this week. Somebody whined last week that I didn't bring a can opener, so I brought a can opener. I forgot mine last week and had to use a knife to open my stuff. Somebody was saying that was a problem. Oh, man. I got this custom rosewood little mini war club that I'm doing for a client. But that would be fun. It wouldn't be fun to get hit with, but it's pretty fun to wield. All right, put this bad boy up. For anybody who's new, I'll be going back and forth between this room and my drying room on the other side of this partition, so please bear with me. If you got any questions about what I'm doing, feel free to drop them in the chat. Help me be a little less bored while I oil my wood. Feel free to make all the oiling wood jokes you guys, and stroking wood jokes you guys want. I've heard them so many times. They never get old, so it's all good. This is a one-of-a-kind rosewood stake that I'm doing. Every now and then I do one-of-a-kinds and I do limited editions. This one's a one-of-a-kind. Basically because I'm out of, mostly because I'm out of rosewood. I've only got a few pieces of rosewood left, and probably none of them will I be using to make this style of stake. I think I might make a few more rosewood stakes, just they won't be this style. But it's pretty cool. It's a two-tone wood. Looks really pretty. Hey, Jacobe! Welcome. It is very shiny. Yes, that's the tung oil and the fact that I sanded it to 1,000 grit. So makes it very shiny. All right, this one's going up. Now we're gonna do some boucan and wasters. So I gotta get a do rag. Anytime you're switching wood types, when you have different wood types, sometimes the sawdust will get into your towel. So it's kind of important to switch rags so you don't stain one wood with another wood. I'm almost sold out of these Shoto boucan. I don't know why these short Shoto boucan sell so well, but they do. So I had to make a couple more, and I did not get enough tung oil on that rag. So give me 1 second. All of my boucan and wasters are guaranteed against breakage for up to a year. If they're made out of certain woods, like Kumaru and Ipe, they are guaranteed for longer. My Kumaru boucan are guaranteed for up to 5 years against breakage under normal use. All you have to do is send me a photo, tell me how it broke, so I can figure out if it was a mistake in design or in wood grain configuration or what. I will send you a replacement free of charge. You don't have to return the old one. No muss, no fuss. I think it's funny, my watch constantly tells me that when I've made my stand goal for the day, I know I made my stand goal. I'm on my feet all day long. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I don't use resin on wood. I only use tung oil, stain. Occasionally, if it's requested, I'll use mineral oil or walrus oil or walnut oil. I have used that before. But mostly I stick with tung oil. It doesn't go rancid. It reinforces and seals the wood against decay and makes it stronger. But every now and then I'll use other stuff. For my boo hurt guys, my armored combat guys, I use mineral oil on their wasters a lot. They seem to prefer that to tung oil because it makes the wood dense instead of crack. It kind of softens the outer layer of the wood. But that requires a bit of maintenance because you have to re-oil it every now and then. Anytime you're going to use it, you got to re-oil it. Tung oil's a one and done. You don't have to really do any maintenance to tung oil. And then I got this big boy here. Made a hickory broadsword waster. Out of my wasters, these are the simplest, and for some reason they seem to be the most popular. This one's made out of hickory. I make them out of oak, hickory. Occasionally I'll make them out of ash. But these are also guaranteed against breaking for up to a year under normal use. All right. So those will sit for a couple days, and they'll get a second coat Sunday morning, right before I do my my Sunday finishing work live stream. I do that at 7:30 a.m. on Sundays. Everything you see me staining and oiling today will be getting finished on Sunday morning on that live stream. This was originally a custom order. This is a Hawaiian Pahoa dagger. It's a very specific design of Pahoa dagger. It's not blended. It has a hole in the center for a wrist thong. Unfortunately, the client that ordered this had, they were in a car accident. They're alive. It's okay. They're not dead. They were in a car accident, and they had some financial issues as a result, so they had to cancel the order. So that one's going to go up for sale on Sunday. It's pretty nice. It's made out of Kumru wood, which if you've been on my live streams before, you know how I feel about Kumru wood. It is awesome stuff. It's got one of the highest shank harnesses you can find. It's got a resistance of 3,700 pound force, between 3,200 and 3,700 in that range, which is pretty freaking strong. These are extremely sharp, so I do have to say, please do not do any stabby with my stuff. I made sure I oiled the hole, so you always got to oil your holes. Nothing worse than a dry hole. And I make that joke almost every live, by the way. So yeah, that one's going to be nice, though. That's going to get put up for sale on Sunday. Once I am done with my finishing work on Sunday, I go back to my house and I list all of my new products for that week. I do a finished works video every Sunday, so you can see what I got done and what's going to be up for sale on the shop for that week. I already have some other Pahoa daggers that are up for sale that are different designs. Hey, what's up, Shozy? Hey, no, feel free to lurk all you want, my guy. These are a Maori dagger style. I made one of these for a custom order last year, and I've made a few more since then, usually just out of cutoffs, and every time I do, they sell for some reason. It's more of a leaf blade design. The Pahoa is more of a conical design. The Pahoa is mostly for the stabby. This is also for the stabby, but as I said, please don't do the stabby. No committing of the crimes with my stuff, please. But for some reason, these seem to be more popular than the Pahoa. I can't quite figure out why. But the Pahoa, in my opinion, is the much better design. But this one's made out of Kumru wood. I've got one up for sale right now that's made out of Ipe. Ipe is pretty close to Kumru. It's in about the 3,000 to 3,200 pound force range. Very strong stuff. Some people call it Ipe ironwood, though that's not really correct. It's not really ironwood, but some people call it that for some reason. But anyway, I keep selling out of them, so I made a couple more this week. I had some Kumru cutoffs. If you got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. By the way, after I'm done with these, I've got a couple of Kumru daggers. I've got possibly the last two limited edition 2026 Vampire Hunter stakes. I'm going to tongue oil those. Then I'm going to stain a set of Ninja Hambo. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to turn you guys around. And you're going to watch me put barbed wire on a bat. I have never live streamed myself doing that. I'm very nervous about live streaming myself doing it because I am very worried I'm going to destroy this bat. I've only ever done that once, but it can happen. It's if you're gonna mess up a barbed wire bat, especially when there's paint and decals involved, and this bat has a lot of stuff that can get messed up. I'm really hoping I don't mess it up. But stick around to see whether or not I absolutely fuck this up completely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And these, I have not impact tested these yet. I may or may not sell these. These are Kumru daggers. I tried to use a really beefy, because they're so long, I went with a beefier tip geometry. I'm not in love with the tip geometry on these, but I'm going to give them an impact test once they've gotten their trunk oil treatments, and we'll see. If they hold up, I'll sell them. If not, I will rework them into a different blade geometry and make them a little shorter. We'll see how that goes. Because I impact test everything I sell. If from daggers to baseball bats to boken and wasters, bow stabs, if it will not hold up, I say that in my, like the stuff I make for cosplay, obviously that stuff doesn't, that stuff's not meant to hold up to actual like combat. But my practice weapons and my melee weapons, like these, are intended to hold up to combat. However, as I said before, do not commit crimes with my stuff. Shozy, that includes you. I know you're always talking about crime time. No crime time, Shozy. All right, and then we got these. These, I actually am in love with these. These are Ipe, which is a really beautiful wood. Very, very strong. These are the limited edition stakes for my shop for 2026. I've made 8 of them, which I usually start selling them once I've made 8. I usually make between 10 and 15. I thought about making 13 this year, but to be honest, I'm kind of over it. I'm honestly a little sick of making them, so I might only make 8. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll make that decision on Sunday when I list them, if I'm going to make more or not. I might make 2 more. At least. We'll see. See how I'm feeling about it. Because I am very tired of making these. I have made 8 of these now. And it's a lot. And trying to get them all uniform, which obviously they're not all exactly the same because they're handmade. It's almost impossible to get handmade stuff to be exactly the same, but they are all the same in the sense that they all have a bellied handle, little pommel, and a conical tip. All right, this one's going up. And we got one more. And Ipe, just so you guys know, it can be an endangered wood. All of my exotic woods, for the most part, are made from reclaimed wood. I try my best to ethically harvest my wood for my shop. Because if we don't, we won't have any wood left to work with. So I work in custom home renovations during the week. A lot of my wood is stuff that's been reclaimed from job sites. You just want a little crime, Shozy? I know, right? We should all branch out into white collar crime. If only we were better at it, right? Because apparently white collar crime, you don't really pay any consequences for that. So at least not here in the U.S. It depends on how much you steal. If you rob a liquor store for a few $1,000s at best, you're probably going to go to prison. If you steal billions in a Ponzi scheme, you're probably not going to. All right. Gotta switch over to stain. Give me 1 second. Let me wipe this out. All right. Okie doke. Well, that's weird. Huh. All right, I gotta clean my hands again. Sorry, guys. Not sure how the tongue oil got through my glove, but it did. Also, if you're worried about the fact that I'm not wearing a respirator, don't be. My shop has multiple air scrubbers. As soon as I finish my staining live stream, I run air scrubbers. I don't stay in this room. We're okay. I promise. I'm not in here huffing the stain. We're past the part where Angel turned evil, totally awesome and kind of like him. Then boom, back to Angel with a soul, and he's like, he sucks again. Yeah, Angel without the soul was definitely more interesting, I feel. So these are Hanbo, which are just short sticks. They're about 3 feet long. For a few years now, I've made like a tactical set of Ninja Hanbo. They don't really sell that great. So they used to sell a lot, but I'm going to make one more set, and then I'm probably going to phase these out of my shop. So if you want a set of these, they get stained black, and then the ends get wrapped in black paracord for better grip and a more durable striking surface. I have not worked with this black gel stain in a minute, so oh yeah, I was like, where's my stir stick? It's right here. All right, glad that past me thought I had a future me, because future me thought I forgot it. But yeah, oh yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, speaking of, I've got like multiple Buffy the Vampire Slayer replica stakes on my shop as well. You can find the link in the description. It's also in my bio, my eBay shop. Please don't go to warriorwoodenprops.com. Shopify, you guys aren't going to believe this. Shopify finally got in touch with me. My shop hasn't worked since like July. They finally got in touch with me. They're supposed to be... a support person is supposed to be contacting me sometime in the next 7 to 10 days. So that's fun. That's a good time. All right. And we got to stir the stain, of course. You don't ever want to shake stain. You should usually stir it, because otherwise you get bubbles in the stain and they can leave weird little rings in your surface. Stirring is better. Gel stain, you really got to make sure you stir, because it does separate quite a bit. You get clumps at the bottom, so make sure you're scraping the bottom. Make sure you're scraping the sides. And this stuff is a bitch to work with. It gets on everything. Which is why the bat I'm about to work on is over there, on the other side of the table, away from all this, because this stuff is very, very, very sticky. But for a wood stain, that's kind of what you want. I know, right? It's been 7 months, but we'll get back to you within a week, right? Yeah, I know, Shelby. Like, I've been waiting since July. And that's the thing. I have been trying to get into... I think here's the issue, though. They did not have a support email available until recently. It was always just bots. And I think probably people were, like, leaving. Because I was ready to quit. I was ready to cancel my account. But I couldn't cancel my account because you have to be logged into your account to cancel. And the whole problem is I can't log into my account, because it says I need some authenticator app, which I never synced my shop to an authenticator. So there's no reason that should be coming up. But it won't let me log in with I have my password. I have my username. But it won't let me log in. I don't know what's going on. But if they can't fix it, I'm fucking canceling, because I'm done. Shopify is bullshit. Shopify is great until the moment you need help, and then it sucks. Do not recommend. Hey, what's up? There, Jay. How you doing? Welcome to Friday Staining. We're gonna stain up some Ninja Hanbo. And then we're gonna put barbed wire on a baseball bat. At least I hope we are. We're gonna see. And usually this black stain, this gel stain, usually needs 2 coats. Kind of depends on how well the wood takes it. I used to always have to give it 2 coats, but I found out the problem was I was sanding it too much. I would always sand everything up to 1,000 grit back in the day, and it would close up the grain of the wood, which means that the stain didn't have anywhere to go. So now I don't stain it quite that high. I stain it to about 220. And that seems to work much better. So it may not need a second coat. We're going to find out. So far, it looks pretty good. And that, my friends, is how you make a wood stick black. Wood stain's way better than paint for this. Paint tends to chip. I use paint on my Eskrima that I make from rattan because you can't really stain rattan quite as easily. But for oak, stain is way better than paint. Hey, Jay, what's up, Bennett? How you doing? Welcome to the party. Not sure why I said that with an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent, but that's what we're going with. It's been a really long day, you guys. I've been working. We have a client, my day job, that they bought a house. They're turning into an Airbnb. The house is old. There is stuff in that house that feels like it's held together with paint. Like, there is stuff on there that I've been repainting that I swear this stuff has been repainted so many times instead of being replaced. And I don't know, some of it I feel like is probably questionably sound. Good. And what I also find funny is like a lot of the stuff that they want us to like salvage and like refurbish, it's particle wood. Like particle board is not really the kind of stuff you normally want to be refurbishing. Like it's a throwaway wood. It's not exactly like top tier stuff. Well, this one apparently is going to need a second coat because it's somehow got a wider grain, which I hate that. Sometimes oak, the grain distance varies. Sometimes you just got to rub a little harder to get into the grains. But it is tedious and time consuming. There we go. That looks better. These probably won't be finished this weekend. This gel stain takes a few days usually to cure. We'll see what it's like on Sunday. If I come in and they're dry to the touch and none of the black's rubbing off on my hands, I don't seal my stain. because a lot of times it's just not good for the wood, not for impact stuff, to poly everything in place. So I don't. But that means I got to make sure that the stain is completely cured before I do anything else. Woot woot. All right. All right, you guys. Let me put some stuff away here. And then I'm going to move you guys around. And we're going to try to put barbed wire on a bat. Oh, God help me. I'm sorry, Odin help me. May the god of war and baseball bats, whatever god that is, smile upon me today, because this one's gonna be rough, you guys. Gonna be rough. Oh yeah, I don't need those gloves. I've been doing, this is my painting area usually, and I've been doing a lot of painting on here, and stuff's been kind of, I'm worried about stuff getting sticky. You see all the pink on here. I painted some pink scremis sticks. So I didn't want to get pink. You guys, pink will absolutely fuck up your shit. So you always got to be careful around pink stuff. You did get here in time for the bat, Jay. Definitely you did. Oh. All right, this is going to come off because this has a bunch of sawdust on it, and I do not want to get sawdust on this bat. All right. Whoo! All right, let's do this. Turn you guys around here. Look at my super messy shop. All right. Hang on, give me a sec here. Let's see, can you guys see okay? I probably should have tested this before. I just did this, but I didn't, so we're going with it. Oh my God, okay. So this is a custom order. Hang on a sec, let me clean my hands again. I am very afraid of touching this right now after that black stain. That black stain will absolutely screw this bat up if I get anything on it. This is a custom order for a client. She wanted a Kuromi themed barbed wire bat for home defense stuff. So it's basically a Lucille, a Negan bat, but with a Kuromi theme. And I am always happy to oblige when it comes to custom baseball bats. It's like my favorite thing to make is custom baseball bats. It's got a lavender suede handle. It's got a lavender purple and plum pink diamond pattern paint job. It's got a bunch of waterproof Kuromi decals. I've clear coated the whole thing, so it should be scratch resistant. We're about to find out how scratch resistant. Whew, all right, let's do this. And oh yeah, and the barbed wire, I had to paint the barbed wire black and then paint each individual barb on the black gold. That took a minute. That was a long, I did actually live stream while I was doing that. You gotta stretch it out a little bit. Way too tight. All right, just gotta make sure it's configured the way I need it. Need to straighten that out a little bit. There we go. This is gonna be my starting point right here. I am so nervous about this, you guys. Oh my God, so nervous. I can't read anything. Hang on. Barbed wire is not installed yet. No. I'm getting ready to install it right now, Jacobe. You're just in time. Just in time. You're ready to do it. So just to warn you guys, normally when I do this, there's a lot of cursing involved. I've gotten better about it over the years. Handling barbed wire can be an absolute bitch. The first time I ever handled barbed wire, I had no gloves. I did not have leather gloves. I did not have snips. These are handheld wire cutters. Highly recommend having these. Heavy rancher gloves. Highly recommend rancher gloves. And a heavy duty staple gun. But yeah, if something's going to go wrong, this is the time it's going to go wrong. So, all right, here we go. Stop. That is not, we're already off to a bad start, you guys. Do not want that rolling into the barbed wire. Hold still. Shit, forgot my hammer. Hang on. You little shit. I did not say you could move. There we go. All right, here we go, folks. Well, it's absolutely going to scratch up that paint job, but I was expecting that. That's kind of always the sad part. When you do these, just got to make sure that I don't scratch off any of the decals. The second pass is usually easier. There we go. Fuck. You little fucker. There we go. We're almost there. Come on, get up under there. Little piece of shit, get under there. Okay, there we go. All right, twist. Come on, tighten up. Tighten up. Oh, there we go. Tighten up. There we are. We're on it. Oh, god damn. Whew. Okay, sorry about all the cursing. So there will be some scratches. That's to be expected. Some of them I'll touch up, some of them I don't. I just give the staples a little tap. I have cardboard and padding up under this drop cloth. And there we go. Now we got a Kuromi barbed wire bat. It'll get some touch-ups this weekend. It'll get a final clear coat over all of it, and it'll go off to the client. Whew. It did not come out as nice as I wanted it with the barbed wire, but I think it came out as well as could be expected. I knew that that paint job was going to get some damage when I did it. Oh, pull you guys a little closer. Oh. Oh yeah, there we go. Kuromi theme, barbed wire bat. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be a good time. And because she actually made, usually I ask people what size bat they want, right? You can see behind me here, I've got a lot of different sizes of bat, all the way from junior to the big Grand Slammers. Everyone always wants the big ones, right? They always want the long ones. And then they get it and they realize, holy shit, I can't swing this thing. It's too heavy. I always recommend to go with a shorter. If it's something you want to be able to swing and wield, go with a shorter bat. Shorter bat is better for being able to actually use it. When you have a big honking thing, it's way harder. Just ask Nugs, the final girl. I made a custom bat for her a while back, nail bat. It was she wanted a very long one because she wanted it for, it was for a photo shoot prop. I made her a lights out meatball nail bat, but it had very large steel nails all through the bat, and it was very long, and she's come to realize that, you know, it looks cool on camera but does not swing well. Whereas this you could do some band damage with this. All right, there we go with the black barbed wire and the gold barbs. All in all, not too bad. Few scratches, but I don't think it's anything I can't either touch up or that just kind of gives it a little bit of flavor. Whew, good God, you guys. I need a nap. Fuck. Holy shit, I hate doing that. I love making these bats. I like making bats. I love making it. I don't make barbed wire bats as often as I used to because The Walking Dead isn't really around anymore. Less people want them. And when I do get barbed wire bats, though, they're usually this kind. They want some kind of a theme to it. I've done Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street ones. I've done Hello Kitty ones. I've done Kuromi. I've done Barbie. I've done all kinds. I've done spiked bats. I've done axe bats, machete bats. I've done nail bats. I've done every kind of crazy-ass post-apocalyptic, zombie apocalypse baseball bat you can think of. The one I hate making the most is the barbed wire ones because spikes and nails and stuff like that, I'm far less likely to cause damage to the paint. With barbed wire, it's just unavoidable that there will be scratches in the paint. But I got through it, I think, with minimal damage. I think that's going to look good. So I hope the client likes that. That's going to get shipped out to her on Monday. Whew. I'm freaking tired, you guys. This has been a long day. Well, you guys, that's all I've got for this. Let me go put this up. Let me go put this in my finishing room real quick. I do not want to mess this up anymore. Whew. Holy crap. So, anybody need like a small amount of gold and black barbed wire? All right, I need to clean up. I don't know that clean up is the right word. Put things away. Probably my shop is never clean. I probably won't have this shop much longer, to be honest with you. I got a deal with another shop. They offered to rent me some space in their shop. The rent on this shop, back when I was on Etsy, it wasn't a big deal. I was selling about, you know, a lot more back when I was on Etsy before they gave me the boot. But these days the shop's not selling nearly as much on eBay, and with Shopify little fiasco, the shop has not sold nearly enough this year. So I need to cut down on my costs, or I'm going to have to start raising my prices a lot more. I'm already going to have to raise prices, which sucks. I'm having a 20% off sale in May or March, but unfortunately I have to raise my prices between now and then by about $5 every item. I'm going to be doing that on March 2nd because the Postal Service has increased their shipping costs. So everything is costing me about $5 more an item to ship. And I include shipping costs in the cost of my items. I don't charge extra for shipping. So I usually charge the average. Well, the average cost of shipping has gone up by about $5 an item. So that's about what I'm going to have to increase everything by, which sucks. For the big stuff, no one's really going to notice. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But for the small stuff like Yawara, vampire steak, stuff like that, my prices are going to have to go up because, like, the last couple weeks, I've taken losses on a lot of stuff that I've sold the last few weeks because it's just too expensive to ship. I have to sell them for more, or I won't be able to. I have to make money at some point. Not a lot. I'm not trying to get rich. I just want the shop to pay for itself. But the Postal Service, they increase their prices every year during the holidays. Well, this year they did it, and then they kind of just quietly didn't put the prices back and didn't really tell anybody. I know that's probably super interesting to you guys. All right, let me put this away. Also, this is a new product that I've got. These are rattan eskrima sticks. I decided that I make them black with blue paracord, kind of look like Nightwing sticks. Decided to see what pink and black would look like, so we're gonna do these on Sunday. We're gonna do some pink eskrima sticks with black paracord. I tell you, this live stream didn't take me nearly as long as I thought. Really thought that was going to take me a lot longer, but the tongue oiling never takes very long. Staining and painting always takes longer. Well, I do have one thing I need to paint, so if you guys want to stick around, I can. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. Also, sorry I look like a hot mess. Be right back, you guys. Give me 1 second. I forgot I've got these Leonardo katana, but they need a second coat of paint, so we're going to do that real quick. Because I got time. So I got this group of cosplayers. This guy, Dave Lozano, got a hold of me a few years ago, and he wanted a Donatello bow staff. So I made a bow staff for him. Then their Michelangelo, they go to conventions, and so they obviously can't bring their actual weapons into the convention. So their Michelangelo needed a pair of con-safe nunchucks. So I made con-safe nunchucks for their Michelangelo. Then the Raphael guy needed a pair of con-safe sai, so I made a pair of con-safe sai. Their poor Leonardo has been waiting on me to make a pair of Leonardo katana for him for a while. I have been trying to find the right materials because it has to be plastic and foam. Only certain parts of it can be wood in order for it to get into a convention. The Suba handguards will be wood. Everything else will be plastic and foam. But I had to find the right kind of plastic because Leonardo, a ninja toe, you need, it needs to be a certain length, and you need it to, the hell did a hair get in there? And you need it to hold its own weight. And a lot of times when I was finding plastics, you know, they tend to be too floppy. This 3/4 inch PVC finally did the trick. I don't really like working with PVC too much, but it seemed like it did all right. But the blade edge needs another coat of paint. So yeah, so these are gonna get, and then probably sometime this next week, the Suba, I gotta cut that. This will go into the Suba. The handle will get wrapped in foam, and then it will get a cloth tape covering over that. And then the bottoms, I gotta paint these yellow. I also have to paint the Suba yellow. And these will cap the bottom with epoxy. And they will look like Leonardo's katana, and they will be safe. You can take them to a convention, and they'll look good, and he won't have any issues with security. Because as we all know, getting into a convention with props can be an issue. You really gotta watch yourself. Oddly enough, though, my Davey, the Donatello guy, the staff I made him was made out of wood. The only reason they let him bring it in is because it's strapped to he wears the old school, original live action Ninja Turtle costume, the latex, like Jim Henson's Creature Shop one, and his staff is strapped to the back of his shell, and there's actually no way for him to even reach it. And all they have to do is zip tie it to the holder, which they do, and then he can walk around with it. So we're going to paint these blades, but if you guys got any questions or if you got anything you want to see before I leave, let me know while I'm doing this, and I'll gladly show you. Let me go grab a chip brush real quick. Actually, wait. I think I'm going to use a different brush. Give me 1 second. Let's use, I think a chip brush is going to be too big for this. I've got these cheap little artist brushes. We're going to go with that instead. And I need a stir stick and my can opener. Whew. Yeah, I know. Shows you it was fast, man. You cannot waste time when you're putting barbed wire on a bat, dude. It's the longer you wait, the worse it gets. You just have to muscle through it. If you try, I've learned that the more you try not to damage the paint, the more likely it is you're going to damage the paint. So you just kind of have to bite the bullet and say, fuck it, and do it. You got to do the thing. It is a pain in the butt, though. It gives me so much anxiety. I prefer spike bats or... I've done a bat where I embedded a machete blade into the bat and gave it a crown of spikes. I've done an axe bat with the saw blades. I've done spike bats. I've done vampire stake bats with spikes in them. I've done all kinds of stuff. And the barbed wire ones always give me the biggest headache because it's just tough. It's just impossible to get that barbed wire on without scratching the paint job, and it kills you because you put so much effort into the paint job. You know? That diamond pattern paint job was not easy, you guys. I originally I was trying to do a checkerboard pattern, which if you ever figure out how to tape a checkerboard pattern into a baseball bat, please let me know because I cannot figure it out. Oh, I'm on low power now. Great. But yeah, if you ever figure out how to do that, let me know, because I could not figure out how to get it symmetrical. I couldn't figure it out because she sent me a picture with it, and I realized later that the picture was AI. So, or the picture that I was using as an example was AI, and I'm like, oh well, no wonder it's freaking, no wonder it looks perfect. It's AI. AI didn't have to tape that shit up. All right, that looks good. Whew. All right, I gotta take my glasses off to do this because I have terrible eyesight and I can't see. I know this looks like I'm doing super tedious work, and I am. The reason is because the PVC is porous, and so on the cut edge where the blade is, the paint didn't quite give the metallic sheen that it did on the rest, so it just needed another coat on top of the base coat. If I can do it without overloading the brush a little bit there, let me get some of that off. So we're just going to brush over that base coat so that it looks metallic, and try my best not to drip over the side. So far, no drips. That's a good news. I know this is super exciting for you guys. Super exciting stuff watching a middle-aged man paint cosplay katana. I forgot to bring the Roman candles and the unicycle, so bear with me. It would probably be more interesting to watch me do this if I had Roman candles and a unicycle. So when you overload your brush, by the way, one good way to fix it is to just put some paint further down where you're going to paint and then spread that out so that you don't end up with drips over the side. Because with a rectangular object like this, when you're trying to paint the narrow edge, it's very easy to get drips over the side. And you kind of want to avoid that because it ruins the illusion of metal. Sorry guys, I know I keep going out of frame, but needs must. Needs must be. Wow, I managed to get through this whole thing without a single drip. Are you kidding? I probably shouldn't say that. I'm going to end up getting a drip at the end here. The trickster gods are like, his ego's getting too big. Knock him down a peg. Don't piss off the trickster gods. They don't like it when you get arrogant. That's their job. Sweet. That looks way better. And sorry, I gotta do the tip here. There we go. A little more than that. All right, there we go. At least the sides aren't wet, and I would not be able to do that. Try to blend that a little more. Oh, that looks way better. Awesome. I am happy with that. Now we can do the other one. Yeah, there was the new Bob Ross, my ass. Yeah, Shozy, I've thought about doing fireworks, man. I think that would attract more people if I did fireworks. Like if I was doing this while shooting off Roman candles and riding a unicycle, I feel like I could get more people to watch. But I can't ride a unicycle, and I'm pretty sure if I set off Roman candles in here, I would set the place on fire. So, you know, you're tanking while using me as background noise, Jagafe. Hey, do what you gotta do. Yo, dumbass T. Well, do your best to save them. All right, this stuff separates so fast. Good God. All right. Probably wasn't a great idea to use my brush as a stir stick, but that was the choice I made in that moment. So that's what we're going with. Yeah, sorry. You guys, I keep having to move you. No, Bob Ross had talent. Bob Ross could paint. I can paint things, but I can't paint things. That didn't make any sense. But you know what I mean. I can put paint on a thing, but I can't make a painting of the thing. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. My boss at my day job can. Like I absolutely am floored. I did have a weird period for a while. Like, I don't know if I had like a brain injury or what, but like there was a 2-year period where I could do art. And I woke up one morning and felt like an uncontrollable like compulsion to draw. And so I started drawing. And I could draw all of a sudden. It was weird. I'd never been able to draw in my entire life. Thought maybe I was having a stroke. But I could draw. And I did. I drew like crazy and painted. I made so much art over like a 2-year period, right? Crazy stuff. It looked really good. And then I woke up one morning and I couldn't do it anymore. Like I just no longer had the ability. It's like I had a weird like savant moment or something. But yeah, I still have all the art too. One of these days I might sell it. I don't know. But yeah, for like a 2-year period of my life, I was an artist. Like I could do art. I think it was like an ADHD thing. Like somehow my brain was like, okay, this is what we're gonna hyper focus on now, even though it's something you don't know how to do and you've never been good at. I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'm gonna take it away. And that was what happened. I had like a 2-year long hyper focus on art, and it was pretty awesome. These days, I can't really do that anymore. Which is very frustrating because I know the ability is obviously in my brain somewhere because I did it for 2 years, but ever since I've tried multiple times and nope, my brain says nope, that's all you got. All you got were those 2 years. They even did a CAT scan on me because they were concerned because apparently like suddenly being able to do things that you couldn't do before sometimes can be, apparently sometimes that can be like a symptom of a brain tumor. I didn't know that. My doctor, when I told my doctor, he was like, that's weird. We should probably do a CAT scan. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, you might have a brain tumor. I didn't. Spoiler alert, I did not have a brain tumor. It's not a tumor. You knew I was going to make that joke. I had to make that joke. It's a requirement. Anytime somebody mentions brain tumors, you got to make a kindergarten cop joke. That's a requirement. You got to do it. Well, it wasn't a tumor. I just had a 2-year period where I could do art. At least drawing and painting art. Technically what I do now is art, but It's just a very different kind of art. A very time-consuming art that doesn't pay well at all. But you know what I like, though? You know, I used to have 3 jobs, one of which I hated. I now have 3 jobs still, and I make way less money, but at least I don't hate any of the jobs I have now. I far prefer working in home renovations and making stuff in my shop to sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. I just feel like that's not good for humans. We were not made to do that. We were not built to sit at desks for 8 hours a day. It made me very unhappy. Oh, you little fuck. A bristle got in. Shit. Well, it's in. There's no time to get it out now, so. And I didn't have any drips, but I do have a little bit of overlap, so we're going to blend that real quick. And we're good on this side. Woot woot! And we're good. Well, we're better, I should say. It may need another coat on that. I don't know, that open cell side where it was cut may just not be able to get the full metal effect, but that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you just gotta call it good. But the blade, sides, and the tips look good, and I feel like that's what most people are going to be looking at. And then next week, I gotta paint the caps. I gotta cut the holes, cut the voids in the Suba, paint the Suba and the caps yellow. Probably next weekend this will get assembled. Because the poor guy's been waiting for like 3 years for these, so or maybe 2. Not that long, not 3, probably more like 2 years. He's been waiting for me to make these. And I finally cracked the code, so I told him like a couple weeks ago that I was working on them. He's like, finally, you're working on them. So looking forward to getting these done for him. One of these days I'll remember his name. I only remember the name of Davey Lozano because Dave Lozano was the guy who runs the group that first got a hold of me. And I haven't had time to remember the rest of their names. And calling him Leonardo sounds weird. So anyway, let me go put these up to dry in the drying area. But yeah, I think these are going to be sweet when they're done, though. I think that's going to look really good on camera. All right, you guys, that is it for me today. I am out. Thanks for hanging out with me. My Sunday finishing work live stream will be Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. I won't be in the shop or doing any streaming tomorrow because I gotta get new tires on my car because being an adult fucking sucks. 0 stars on adulthood. I'm not a fan of it. Do not recommend. So I gotta go do something about that. So. But I will be on Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time if you're up at that ungodly hour. I will be on doing all the stuff you saw me stain and paint today for the most part. I will be finishing tomorrow, or Sunday morning. Not tomorrow morning. It's Friday. I used to do my my staining live streams on Saturday morning, so I always forget. But that's it for me today, folks. Hey, take care, Jacobe. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's not a tumor, right, Shozy? Yeah, no one's supposed to do that shit. No, it is barbaric sitting in a desk. Absolutely. Sorry, probably should have read my comments more often. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm out of here. I hope you have a great weekend. If you are awake at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday, please come hang out with me for Sunday finishing work. I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me.